During every stage of my project, a technology was used, whether it was hardware, software, or Web 2.0. The amount of different technology reflects on the stages of production I was at. For example, during research stages, mainly internet research was done, therefore Web 2.0 technology was used, whereas during production, the actual construction of the products, mainly software, was used. The research stages were, to me, the most important stage of the project. Without the necessary research taken, the final product would not have generic codes and conventions a music video requires to appeal to a target audience. The Web 2.0 technology I used were a large online video streaming website called YouTube. On this website, I could search for videos of bands that I would like to pastiche. With this, I could also share the video via Facebook to fellow group members and type comments about the video as a message. This became extremely useful as we could communicate through videos and show each other what codes and conventions we could pastiche without being in the same room. YouTube also has a way to store videos for future viewing or personal use, such as adding these to playlists or adding them to your favorite section. The pros and cons of YouTube is that YouTube is free, anyone can have it or use it. Easy to use, fast streaming, and can upload videos up to 1080p, a very high quality. However, YouTube is heavily guarded with copyright. Anything that breaches copyright will be taken down, and if continue to break the law, fines are issued. Another large Web 2.0 technology I used during research stages were a search engine called Google. I used this search engine mainly for its image searching option. The image search gave me an idea and allowed me to have insight into what sort of clothing I need to dress the band members in to appeal to my target audience of punk rockers. Another reason I used Google was due to its map searching ability. The map search gave me directions as well as a 3D street view option. This was useful in the fact that we could check out possible filming locations without going there first. This saved an awful lot of time. There really are no bad points to Google. Google is just a search engine that searches all types of media, from documents to videos to maps and translators. A third, smaller Web 2.0 technology we used during research and planning stages were a brainstorm generator, Bubbleless. This created brainstorms which we could enter text in. It was computerized, therefore instead of handwritten text, it used fonts. This meant that our brainstorms became neat and tidy for us to refer back to, which saved time as we could briefly read through the brainstorms and not have to reread or check what certain words say. This also organized our planning, which is gravely important in media tasks. There are some fantastic pros for this program, and this video shall describe these pros.
Dear brother, I have never asked this much of you. Could you please just take my other, but show them how much I care. There's something that screams, this seems so unfair. But we're all gonna feel blood on tomorrow. That's a feeling that you can't only borrow. Just take a deep breath and take in the air.
The last Web 2.0 technology I used during research stages that I used in later stages were a social networking site called Facebook. Facebook was mainly used for audience feedback and ideas on other products. I also used this to keep contact and share media text such as videos and imagery with other group members to display thoughts and ideas quickly. In the planning stages of my project, I used the Web 2.0 technology of an online blog posting site, Posterous. Posterous helped me keep track of progress and show stages that needed completing. It also organized research and gathered media which was placed in a date order. Posterous is able to upload any sorts of media or embed videos into the text windows rather than uploading, which is saved time and pirating issues as I could copy and embed video from YouTube and link it to my blog. Posters is a very good blogging site, however it has many cons as sometimes blogs are lost. Some large files that are uploaded crash as Postgres. I also used a piece of software called Paint.net, which is a free open source software which is much more like drawing type version of Adobe Photoshop. I used Paint.net to create an audience profile for collage. This collage was mainly for blog reasons, however it showed us the things our target audience likes to see in products, and what their daily consumerism is. A piece of hardware I used were HD video cameras, and a set of tripods. The cameras were a Samsung ST90, which is a 14 megapixel camera / camcorder, which shoots in 30 frames per second. The second is a Sanyo brand, which is also 40 megapixel, which shoots in 25 frames a second. The cameras could be used together as their setting is manual and can be made to give the same picture quality. For the sake of continuity, these recorded onto micro SD and SD cards. Using these cameras were easy to get shots. Each featured a 4 to 5 inch LCD screen, therefore previewing shots could be seen a lot better. They also came with a rule of thirds option to display a grid line on the screen. I prefer using this rule as it makes shot types look a lot more professional and interesting, so I use this option to more easily line up objects and backgrounds to the grid lines. I use two cameras to get more shots and more varied angles. This made filming easier as I could get twice as much footage for the time taken. I used John Thomas Smith's theory that is over the rule of thirds. These made my shots more proportional and professional. I also picked up another rule of switching between two shots. The angle in which the shots switch cannot be 30 degrees or under, otherwise the shot looks off as though the camera is jutted slightly. Therefore, in the editing process I followed this rule and made the video a lot more professional, there are too many to describe that I haven't previously of these products. However, a con is the focus. The videos are in high focus and everything in the shot is in focus. It would have been better if the video had the background out of focus and the foreground in focus to draw attention to the characters. In terms of software, Adobe Premiere came out on top for the most used software technology. As I was new to Premiere, I had to learn all the basics which a media technician helped me out with. As my music video was from a punk rock genre, the transition used was Solid Cuts, which I researched to find out. Because I was pastiching existing media products, I used the same transitions in my video. Adobe Premiere also featured a timeline view. This view made editing easier, as I could see what the video length is in proportion to the clips. From this I could crop or expand scenes. This software also featured a project window, in which I could manipulate where the scene is on the screen. Therefore I could use Premiere's layering tools and put two shots together to make a split screen view. Complications arose when I wanted to change a simple thing such as contrast and tones. I needed a grungy effect to appeal to my target audience and connote their punk rock lifestyle. This problem was easily averted when armed with the knowledge how. It did become tedious as I had to edit every single scene and shot, and get the contrast and the tone levels correct all the way through so the video remained consistent. A major pro of Adobe Premiere is the timeline view. The timeline view is very easy to use. However, most video editing software have scrapped that for more of a clipboard look, which is useless. A con of Premiere is that it uses a lot of processing power, therefore low-end computers would struggle and crash with this. I use another piece of software created by Adobe called Photoshop. Photoshop is an image manipulating software which is a tool used for editing images or creating them. I use this software in the production of my ancillary tasks of a digipack and poster advert for the digipack. To appeal to my audience, Photoshop comes equipped with tools to help, such as the text tools. After researching text in which sort of fonts would suit my audience, I downloaded a preset font off a website called The Font, which uploads user-created fonts to use for such tasks. With the text tool I did not have to draw out fonts or text, as with my new downloaded fonts I could easily type it in, then continue to manipulate them. From this I could change the size, margins, colours and other various options. I also use Photoshop to create my own layering effect, which is featured in both my digipack and poster advert. For this I used a mix of tools, first creating a base colour by using the paint bucket on the virtual canvas. Then I applied different effects to the different layers and changed their transparency to almost invisible. This created a torn ragged effect like paper, which I wanted as I was pastiching an already existing album cover which is targeted at the same audience as mine. There are some major cons to the newbies on Photoshop. When first starting, Photoshop can be very confusing. However, pros is that when you start to understand it, incredible images can be created. Only with these varied tools in these programs could I properly encode my preferred meaning into my media text and appeal to my target audience and sell the product.